So this is part 2 of the 15 items that FEMA ask you to keep ready in your house for an emergency just in case. The Keep It Quiet Survival Guide. Okay, so why are we talking about this then? Okay then, so after the last video, I know some of you are probably thinking then, great, now I need to build a bunker and empty my bank account, right? No, wrong. Right? Hold your horses. You absolutely do not need to go and buy those tactical bug out bags that cost an absolute fortune. This is not looking like you're starring in a Hollywood apocalyptic film thing. Not at all. This is about being sensible. It's about following FEMA's guidelines. It's about just spending a few quid, but also saving a few quid. And doing it without the neighbours thinking you've totally gone off the deep end. Nobody wants to live next to somebody that thinks a little bit cuckoo now, do they? The reality is FEMA's 47-page document is a suggestion. It's an admission that if a disaster strikes, the powers that be are going to be very, very busy and help may not get to you very fast, if at all. You need to be your own first responder for at least the first 72 hours and somebody that your family can depend upon. Let's take a look at how to do this the British way, discreetly and on a budget. Let's tackle the big one then, water. Now FEMA recommends 1 gallon per person per day for at least 72 hours, but realistically 2 weeks. Now for a family of 4, that is 56 gallons of water. If you rock up to your house with 50 bottles of Evian, the neighbour's going to think you've gone a little bit loopy, and nobody wants to live next to somebody who's a little bit loopy. Now basically then guys, we have 3 options. So first of all, we have the budget option. Don't buy the fancy volcanic water. Get down your supermarket and grab some 3 or 5 litre cheap bottles of water. You can add a couple every time you do your shop at Asda, Aldi, Lidl, somewhere like that. Nice and cheap. These bottles are pennies compared to the branded stuff, and it's going to add up quick. The budget move. Now the stealth storage. Most of us don't have basements in the UK. Tuck them under the stairs, a lot of us have those, behind the sofa, under the bed even, or in the bottom of your airing cupboard. Now we've moved to central heating, those old boilers have all been taken out and their cupboards are just used for storage. FEMA has learned that dehydration kills faster than starvation. This water you're not just drinking, you need it for cooking and basic hygiene too. Now when the taps go dry, it could be that you're the only one on your street that is washing your face, just because you have heeded FEMA's advice. Next up then, food. 2,000 to 2,500 calories per person per day. Personally, I'd aim for 2.5, just to give you a little bit of extra cushion. You can, at a push, drop yourselves down to 1,000 calories a day, but you're not going to get much done and you're going to feel the effects. Now the mistake here is buying all of those emergency survival biscuits that can taste like crap. Some taste great, I've tried quite a few myself, but some of them, not so good. Always try your food to know you like it before you save it for long-term use. So the hack here then guys is shop for the things you like. Buy extras of stuff that you eat all the time, that's easily prepared or can be eaten straight from the packet. Peanut butter, tinned meats, crackers and dried fruit are fantastic options in this situation. Now the golden rule, it really should be no cooked food. It also needs to require minimal water because water is a very valuable resource. Now FEMA's found in disasters like Katrina, people were eating the wrong kinds of foods. Things that required a lot of boiling or were extremely salty. These foods just accelerated dehydration. Don't forget the essentials guys, get yourself a can opener. It is on the list. I am serious here, if the power's out, that fancy electronic can opener thing that you've got sitting on the cupboard, it ain't going to work and you're going to be sat there staring at a can of beans wondering how to get into it because you haven't learnt any survival techniques. Now this is the one that catches people out, your medications. FEMA wants you to keep a 30-day supply of all prescription medications at a minimum. Now the reality here is that pharmacies are one of the first things that are going to shut down in a crisis. Strategy, doctors hate prescribing extra. A lot of it ends up going to waste. You have to be smart, keep on top of your repeat prescriptions and ensure that you've always got an extra few days spare. This is so that you don't run out. Now the basics, don't forget the unglamorous stuff. Anti-diarrhea meds, pain relievers and tablets for chronic conditions. Check the expiry dates every few months and rotate your medications to make sure that nothing goes out of date. You can still take medication for the most part, not all of it, that's past its best. Some of it is still going to be effective, but not as good as if it was in its date. Finally, the gear that FEMA really pushes for is LED flashlights for everyone. They last longer and they don't get hot. A lot of them also have multi-settings, so you could have it really low or really high as well, which can be very handy if you don't want any light to be seen from a distance. Now the budget move here is you can grab the multi-packs from the middle aisle of your supermarket or the pound shop and stick one in every room. You can buy LED torches, 8 little LEDs from the pound shop that take 3 AAA batteries for £1. It's a no-brainer. Now warmth, if the grid goes down in January, your house is going to become a fridge in hours. You can keep old duvets and blankets in black bags in the attic. Get them down. You can also tuck in a few cheap foil blankets to keep the heat in as well. They can become very handy in these situations. The wrench as well. Have a pair of pliers and a wrench nearby, especially near your meters. If there's a leak or major issue, you need to be able to shut off your gas and your water. You need to be able to do this yourself without waiting for a technician to come and help. Look, this isn't about being paranoid. You've followed FEMA's guidance. This is the second part to that video. I will have that video linked in if you haven't seen the first one of the 15 items that FEMA's recommending for you to keep in your house. It's about looking at the state of the world that we live in today and deciding that you would rather be a day too early than a day too late. I've said this before, it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. And it can't be that bad if FEMA's asking us to get these essential items ready just in case, now can it? FEMA's own strategy is now make sure that you can survive without us. That should tell you everything about what might be coming. It doesn't take much. A few extra items here and there is all it needs to be. There's a cost of living crisis, budgets are tight, I get it. An extra can of tuna that costs 50p, an extra can of mackerel that costs 90p. It all helps. You're not building a fortress, you're making sure that your family is going to be fine should the unthinkable happen. So what's the first thing that you're going to be adding to your cupboard then after watching this video? Or do you reckon this is all just a bit too much? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Don't forget though guys, there's going to be a video right up here right now that could also give you some insights into what you need to do to prepare for our future. Stay safe and thanks for watching.